Hello and welcome back to another video. This was supposed to be done last week, but it wasn't because I was very busy. So today we've got Hannah in, my lovely next door neighbour and friend, and she is well overdue. Do you remember these pink sparkly French fancies we did? They're very grown out. These are all her natural nails now. So first of all, these are hard gel. What we're going to do is take the 4 times coarse bit and just take down as the design and the bulk and the apex. Even though we're working on natural nails, I still, they're quite long. She is taking some length off this time, but we will still make sure there's an apex, make sure there's structure and strength, make sure those edges are capped and everything like that. But first of all, we just need to get this bulk out and check the health of the nails underneath. Luckily, this nude gel that I use, although it does have a pigment, it's also translucent. It's like a buildable coverage, so I can see through underneath to her natural nail to see how they are health-wise. And they're banging. They're perfect. The adhesion is great. There's no lifting, no problems. It was literally just remove the design, file down that gel and start rebuilding. Everything in this video, apart from the end, is literally slightly sped up because this set took me 2 hours. I am slow because I don't do nails every day and, my hands are bad, so I have to take my time. I have no choice, really. I've got no choice, mate. So things are sped up a little bit, but it's probably most people's working pace, to be fair. I don't know. Anyway, what are you drinking? I've got Yorkshire tea today. And if you're new, where are you watching from? I like to do a round robin, check in on everyone. We've had Storm Dara here. My goodness me. So get this, the temperature was 5 degrees Celsius, but it felt like -7, according to Weather app. And I'm not kidding, it was painful. When the wind and rain hit my face yesterday, it physically hurt. So I don't know, how is it for you guys? It was crap here. Absolutely rubbish. Right, I don't know what I'm doing there. I'm having a chat. Anyway, this is the last finger I'll show you of removing the design. As you can see, I've taken the ends down and I won't file them yet. What I'll do is go into prep, push back the cuticles. Hannah does not have an awful lot of overgrown cuticle. It's really handy for me because it makes this part of prep quite quick. But one thing I will say, no matter how frustrated you are or no matter how impatient your client is, because let's face it, they really don't understand what's involved unless we educate them. Don't rush your prep, because good prep means that you can have nails that have been on for 4 weeks like this. I think they're about 4 weeks, and there's no lifting whatsoever. So just keep that prep nice and tight, and then your job will be easier. The application will be quicker, the design will be quicker. I tend to rush more as I get to the end and make silly mistakes, as I will show you in this video, because I'm all about transparency and keeping it real. So I ham, do you? Really? I sausage. I have got the new Madam Glam bundle to show you, but I'll do that in my next video. But we are using one of the gels today because it was just so perfect for Christmas nails. We're even debating whether she'll get another set in just before Christmas, but I don't think she will. I think these will do Christmas and then we'll have to have some New Year ones. Abby will get another Christmas set though, definitely, because I've seen how fast they grow and it's ridiculous. Right, so I'm using this bit to just remove any cuticle. She doesn't have a lot of overgrown cuticle, it's fantastic. So this just gets rid of the dry, non-living tissue that attaches to the nail plate. If that remains on the nail plate, the gel won't stick, acrylic won't stick, nothing will stick. It'll all lift. So I use this bit. I got it from Amazon in a kit, and I will link the Amazon. I've got like a list of things that I buy regularly. That's there. That's a list. You just click it. You can see what there is. And these bits are in there as well. I'm also going to use these files as well, the Canva-like files. I get them from Amazon. Now I'm going to tighten the shape because I've done the cuticle work. The bulk's been debulked. So now I'm going to tighten that shape back into a lovely soft almond kind of shape. It's such an elegant nail shape. I think pretty much unless your fingers are so skinny they look weird, anybody can pull off this shape. If you've got bigger, wider nails, this is an elegant shape that will elongate your nails. If you've got small nails but chunky hands, again, it's an elegant shape that will elongate everything. It's just beautiful. I really do like it. It's probably my favourite shape to do on people, actually. It's so elegant, classy. And these are her natural nails. She's very lucky. They grow beautifully. And they grow like really evenly, you know, like for me, I feel like my index finger on my right hand grows too fast. I think it just doesn't, it grows too fast, and my nails grow twisted as well. So I can't get a lovely result like this. I could have done a bit of this filing, to be fair, with my sanding band to get this shape a little bit better and put less strain on my thumb joints, because as you can see, I have got the old hitchhiker's thumb, as one of you lovely people commented as well to confirm. Yes, that's what it's called. Yeah, it's a bugger. It's caused arthritis. It's so painful, but you don't realise you're doing it. Anyone that's got it, they'll know. You don't know your thumb's doing that until you get to the age where it hurts. It's strange, isn't it? But yeah, so the least hand filing you can do, the better, really, because it takes the pressure off the joints. But I didn't think of that because I was having a chat. And I have my old way of doing things, and it's really hard to adapt to form new habits. But as you can see, where those nails have grown down, I'm just pulling them back in at the sides and then bringing them round. This is the nail that broke last time, I think, or the time before, and had to be sculpted back out, but it's now caught up. That's why we brought all the other ones back down, so they match. And then I will go over the exposed regrowth on the nail plate with a 180 grit sanding band. I think I was at about 13 RPM on my Melodysusie e-file, which is also on my Amazon list. And then I just nip over the nail just to smooth it out. These are really good sanding bands. You get like 100 and the mandrel bit, and I think it's around £5 or £6. But you get a new mandrel bit with it as well, which I think is fantastic. In a little box, so they're easy to store. Yeah, they're great. I really like them. So yeah, that's all I'm doing. I'm just smoothing over, because obviously I've gone in with a hand file and filed about and messed about with it. I want it all smooth. I want certainly the regrowth area to flow nicely into the previous product, so there's no step or anything like that. And there's a good thumb shot for you, look. As you can see, no lifting. She's got very strong natural nails. And yeah, I'm just evening out that surface. It just makes the whole job easier. I feel like I'm getting a bit of a bad throat. You know, I haven't got a super sore throat or anything, but it feels like croaky, like dearie me. Right, she hates this bit. She's got a sensory issue when it comes to these, and so has her daughter. Sometimes I paint her daughter's nails for her, like to go to school and look fancy. And they've both got the same issue. Oh, there's a Nino going past. Apologies for the noise. There we go. Oh dear. So I've dehydrated and I've primed, and now I'm going in with a tiny bit of hard fibre gel on my brush, and I'm scrubbing it into the natural nail. This is by Desire Nails, which is a brand that is owned by the nail artist Dorota Politska. You probably know her. She's freaking amazingly talented. I will link the product. I can't remember the shade I use. I think it's like Rose or Perfect Rose, something like that. It's really beautiful. And like I said, it's got an element of translucency to it, as you can see. So you can still see the health of the natural nail. There's another Nino, I think. Oh, gosh. Yes, there is another Nino going past, guys. Apologies for the noise. That's all going on today. Dearie me. My belly always sinks a little bit when I hear them. I think it's because I grew up in a village where I didn't hear things like that. So when I hear them, I'm like, oh no. So I've done the scrub layer. That's been cured for 1 minute. It creates a sticky surface. Then I go in and just nip my brush over to cause a slip layer. I pick up a nice bead or pearl. I always use the word pearl with hard gel, bead with acrylic. And all I'm doing is filling in the regrowth area and the apex area, right? The rest of the nail's already got product on, but I will smooth it over with a thin layer of new product. But they don't need to be bulky. These nails are already strong and supported. And I'm just making sure it's even and the structure's okay. Now I work 1 to 2 nails at a time, no more, because this gel is fluid until it's cured and it's going to move about. So I'm doing the same one here, put some at the regrowth area, build up that apex, feather it down the nail. Again, doesn't need to be thick all the way down. You really don't need a thick free edge. You'll just have to file it off. So there's no point making more work for yourself, if that makes sense. And then in with the next hand. So I've swapped hands. So there's always one hand in the lamp, one hand being worked on. And if I've got time, once I get in the flow, I can often do 2 nails in a minute for an infill. And that makes life a lot easier. As long as I'm not nattering too much. If I'm chatting, it's 1 nail a minute. I've seen some nail techs, but they have like studios and stuff, and they'll have a TV on playing something that everyone likes, like Friends or, I don't know, a Christmas movie or whatever. And they said it saves the need to chat because people will just watch the telly. And then they work faster because they're taught. I 100% agree with that. I think that would be an amazing idea because I tend to have a chat, and if you're chatting, you're not concentrating 100% and you're not working as fast as you potentially could if you were laser focused. And my brain is like spaghetti anyway, so the slightest distraction, and I've made a mistake, which I'll show you later actually. But yeah, these in general are very quick to do. The prep takes long. The infill itself is fast. It's not long-winded. And then depending on the design, we took time choosing the gel. And Hannah was heavily inspired by Abby's nails that I did that have been very, very popular on TikTok. And Abby herself said within 1 day she had 5 compliments on her nails at work. So they've really been a kind of catalyst. I've had people message and ask like, oh, how much do you charge? I'm like, I don't do nails like on customers. I do my neighbour, I do my son's girlfriend, and I do my nails. And I'm trying to get my mum in the chair, but she's very reluctant. She's not feeling good, but I'm going to try and get her in the chair and do some Christmas nails for her. I think she'll feel better. But they've been very popular. So Hannah's nails were inspired by Abby's nails. We've put a slight twist on them and we've changed the colour. But they are heavily inspired. But they're hard gel, not acrylic. So can you spot the error? I've obviously filed all these nails into shape. But can you spot what I've done? I'll give you a few seconds to write it in the comments, and then I'll let you know. This gel, by the way, is called Santa's Treasure. It's brand spanking new from Madame Glam's new collection. It's absolutely gorgeous because not only has it got this kind of old gold feel to it, but I swear there's like these tiny little bronze flecks every now and again, especially when the camera distorts. You'll see this kind of glow, and I get why they've called it Santa's Treasure because it's like it's magically glowing. It's beautiful. Right, you've had time now to see if you've checked the error. If you wrote in there that I forgot to put a matte base down before doing design work, you are correct. It doesn't matter on a full nail like this. You don't have to have a matte base down. However, when I'm doing line work and stuff like that, or French, having a little bit of a matte base smooths out any little lines in the nail surface, and it makes getting a precise line a lot easier. A lot easier. You'll also notice that I prefer, when I'm using glitter gels, to place my product in the middle of the nail, then use a detailer brush to bring it out to the edges, and that's just so we don't lose the shape of the nail because glitter is thicker than gel. So yeah, hope that makes sense. It gives me a lot more control over where the product goes. But look how beautiful that is. 1 coat coverage. I did not do a second coat. It was not needed. Absolutely stunning. A gorgeous gel. I will be doing this week a reveal of the whole collection, and I will be using them either on my nails or on practice nails, but my nails desperately need doing, as you can see in this video, so it will probably be on my nails. So here's where the issue comes in with not using a base coat that is super sticky. I prefer a matte top coat. It gives me a smooth, even surface. So when I'm doing line work like this, it just grabs easier and the edges don't run the risk of bleeding. Now, luckily, this gel is thick because it's glitter, so the edges don't bleed. But if I'd have been using a colour gel polish instead of like a gel paint, then it would have started to bleed out. It's just the way gel works. If you've got a surface with lots of little tiny lines in it, the product's going to flow into those lines. So always, either use a base coat of your choice, or if you're like me, I like a matte base to work on. It's so much easier to paint on. Some people buff it into a matte surface, and I have done that before, but I do prefer just whacking a matte top coat on because I'm lazy. If you go a bit wonky, you see the top there, I don't like the thickness. I've taken my gel brush that I use for my hard gel application, popped a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on it and just wiped away the bit that I don't want. Like, it's not the end of the world. It's totally cool. I did it on here as well. I noticed that I find it harder to get my lines neat if I'm not working on the matte base as well. So the Velvet Matte Top Coat is what I use as a base, and I don't know, my work is neater. There is a difference. Most definitely a difference. Right, so that's all cured. Every time I do a line, I fully cure it for 1 minute. And then I'm going to go across with the gold gel. Santa's Treasure. So beautiful. My precious. Really nice. Good coverage. That goes in the lamp. Same on the other nail. Across the middle. We're building it up in layers. I will say that I found that I used this gel a bit thicker, but that might depend on the density of the glitter. I think the pieces are slightly bigger in this gel than they are in the other one I used on Abby's nails. They were like, the one I used previously was like small reflective pieces, whereas this one is slightly larger, not chunky, but when you're working in fine lines, you will notice a difference. But that's okay. Long as you let the client know there may be some texture to the nail. Again, in with the white, back into the lamp for 1 minute. You want everything fully cured. The only reason Teddy's not woofing at me today is because he's already been out for his walk, so he's tired. But he's led with me, watching my every move. He's been stealing Christmas decorations, stealing my crochet, and stealing his dad's decorating products this week. Oh, and stealing everybody's underwear. Haven't you, darling? Yes. Oh, here's a story for you. We had a random dog turn up at our house. I'm working on the bow now, by the way. Yeah, we had a random dog turn up at our house. Somebody knocked on our door and said, "Is this your puppy?" Because they knew we had a dog. But it was a black dog, and it was curled up underneath our son's motorbike, which the engine was still warm. We had a storm, it was cold and wet. It was absolutely tipping it down. And this poor little black dog was curled up at the end of our driveway. So the nice man round the corner knocked on our door with this dog curled up in his arms. He brought him in. Obviously, it's not ours. But luckily, he had a scanning tag on his collar. So we were able to scan the QR code, and it sends a notification to the owners, "Your dog is here." It was over it was over a mile away. It had gone over a mile from where it lived. So obviously we called the owners, and then we went and dropped the little darling off. Oh, he was beautiful. He had a curly coat. I think he was like a Cavapoo type breed. He had a curly coat. Teddy loved him. They played together. They had some food together. Like, I was so proud of our puppy. He let another male dog come into his house. He shared his food. He gave him cuddles. It was so sweet. And actually, the next day, I think Teddy was a little bit sad that the dog had gone because he was looking for him. And I was a bit sad, actually. I was like, it's a Christmas miracle. There is a puppy in our garden. Well, he wasn't a puppy. He was a full grown. But, like, no, can't keep it. Somebody actually owns it. But those tags, those collars, they're really good. Teddy doesn't run away. Even if the front door's wide open, he will not leave unless he's told. So I don't think we'd need one. He is microchipped, obviously, as they have to be by law. But that collar was a really good idea. Anyway, onto the bow. I didn't do the best on the bows. I'm not entirely happy with them, but we were on a time crunch, and I did have Hannah's little. He's not a baby really. He's a baby to me, but he's about two and a half, three, nearly three. He was in his buggy. He was so well behaved. He sat there because it was his nap time, and he sat there and he just sort of played a little bit and had a little nap. But I kept looking at him and talking to him. But he was exhausted anyway, so it was his relaxed time. And I thought back to when Oliver was young. Now, Oliver's autistic and has ADHD. We couldn't keep him in a buggy for more than about 5 minutes. He would just lose his marbles when he was young. Couldn't take him anywhere. But this little one was just beautiful. He's just a little angel. And he loves me. He talks to me. He's so cute. I want to keep him. I want to keep the doggy and I want to keep the baby. Meanwhile, I've done a French on this now. And again, I noticed the difference because I didn't have the matte base coat down. But never mind. Right, little gold dot in the middle, and we pray to God that it pulls it all together. And to be fair, it does look better. But it's not perfect, and it did irritate me. And I think a lot of that's down to the fact that, number one, I was distracted, but also I didn't have that matte coat to paint on. So the surface just wasn't as smooth. And you'll find your brush might sort of flick off because there's little ridges. It just go whoop, and you're like, oh God. A lot of these things clients don't notice because they just look at their nails and go, wow. But nail techs notice. We look at every little thing and pick it apart for days. But yeah, I didn't have to double coat this. Like, I built this up in one coat and it was fine. I'm just dotting the glitter around now so that it spreads out evenly. And I was happy with that. I'm going to go and do the candy cane nail now. So I'm using the white art gel or gel paint from Madame Glam. The Madame Glam gel paints, they have like a whole collection with all the main colours. And then you can mix them to create different shades and different colours. They are impeccable. There's nothing else that I use for stuff like this. And also, like, if I was doing character painting or detailed work like these, because not only have you got the flexibility of mixing them, they also dry without a tacky layer. They just stick. Like, they're thicker, they're more pigmented, you can work thinner. So although the gel's thicker, your artwork ends up thinner because you don't need to use as much. We opted for, well, it was my choice, I just did it and then told her I'd done it, adding extra lines within the candy cane because I just felt there was a bit more surface area to work on, and I wanted to do thick line, thin line, thick line, thin line, like that. And I think it looked really cute. I'm actually looking at a Christmas decoration on my tree now, and it's sort of got me thinking about design. Don't know if I could do it though. I just had a little yawn, sorry. Right, so thick lines first, and then I'll pull the gel a bit more through the brush and do a slightly thinner line. See? I just liked it. A bit of a different twist. And it's quite effective. You could sprinkle glitter on it if your client wants a textured nail, but mine did not. Both Abby and Hannah prefer them top coated and smooth, and that's what we're doing now. In with the no wipe gloss top coat. Make sure to cap the edges. This top coat just holds up massively. You know, you're sticking your hands in all sorts of chemicals, cleaning, all that. Even if you don't wear gloves, like, this top coat holds up. I use it on my nails, and I'm always forgetting to wear gloves. And my nails, the only time my nails get damaged, right, is from filing other people's nails and catching my nails with the file. And that's the only time. There we are. Look at that. So pretty. I will do a final reveal as well. The thumbs, we just did full glitter to match the pinky. So that that ties in a little bit. I really like the candy cane nail, actually. Really happy with it. I don't know what to do next. I'm not sure. I need to have a little think. It's getting cold as well. I can feel it feel it in my bones. Okay, top coat that index finger. She's pretty. Pretty. And here's the final reveal. I've done it both ways round, like this way round and the other way, and just zoomed it in for you guys to show you. Look how pretty they were. We used Tough Love Nail Co. cuticle oil, and I think we used the tropical one. Yes, I'm sure we did. Tropic Like It's Hot. I think that's what we used. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!